Just a few days ago, Tanaka would never expect to be dreading interacting with Dasho. Although dreading was perhaps a strong word, but he did jump inwardly every time Dasho talked to him. Because every conversation could lead to one question he really didn't want to hear. When he came home 2 days ago, he had no idea he stumbled upon an aftermath of what Dasho called touch practice. He just joined in, thinking they were trying to settle Dasho's anxiety. However, once Enoshita and Terushima looped him in on the real reason Dasho looked so shaken, the situation turned much more disturbing. He still clearly saw the photos of Dasho's throat blackened with bruises when he closed his eyes, just imagining laying his own hands where they used to be, twisting his insides. He wanted to help, of course he did, but this would be too much, coming way too close to the past. Especially since Enoshita mentioned to him before that the piece of shit and him looked and acted similar. And Dasho still hadn't said anything, straining his nerves in expectation of the dreaded request. You are stupid though. He's going to notice you are acting weird and it's going to scare him. He tried his best to not let anything on, but judging by the occasional confused look he got, it wasn't always working. But what was he supposed to do? Tell Dasho he wouldn't help him if he asked? Refuse to fulfill his promise to do everything to make him feel better? No way. All of this because of one fucking creep. Are you? Jolted from his thoughts, he turned around after the voice, forcing a smile on his face. Hey, sorry I didn't hear you. Is something going on? You looked upset. A little, I guess. But not at you, I swear. Just overall at the situation. Dasho's shoulders slumped a little, the way he gripped his arm telling Tanaka he should offer support instead of explanations. He reached out his arms, hoping to offer a supportive hug. But to his slight disappointment, Dasho just held onto his hand without another movement. At least he wasn't flinching away, but given the circumstances, that was a weak reason to celebrate. Did you need anything? Yes, actually. Would you please help me with something? Dread shot through Tanaka's body, and it took all his willpower to not let it show on his face as well. Please don't be that, anything else but that. I'm all ears. What is it? More than before, he wanted to squish Dasho in his arms, the torn look in his eyes as he visibly pondered whether to go ahead with his request or not, sinking his heart. He stayed still though, only squeezing Suguru's hand a little tighter, waiting patiently until their eyes met again. You know about the last 2 days ago, right? Yeah, Yuji told me. I've been thinking about it, about how badly it went, and I know I need to get used to it, the sooner the better, but maybe I should start with something less scary, right? Trying really hard to not look too relieved, Tanaka hummed in agreement and gently tucked Suguru closer and around the couch. That sounds like a good plan. Though, are you sure it's a good idea to try again this soon? I don't want to stress you out again. The grateful, albeit tiny smile he got in return dispersed most of his worries. I'm sure it's going to go a bit better. Okay, what do you have in mind? Some of the nervous energy returned into Dasho's posture, his eyes trailing away to the floor. I talked with my therapist yesterday about the practice and the current situation. She suggested trying something simpler, so I thought I want to work on getting hugged from behind. Oh? Other hugs are fine thanks to all of you, but with someone coming from behind me, it's still a little scary. He looked up, panicked and yet determined at the same time. I don't want Yuji to feel bad for it again. Tanaka's heart melted a little at that. It wasn't a secret Terushima's favorite hugging position was to cling to them from behind. A habit that led him to causing a few panic attacks on Dasho's side before he got more careful. And now, it seemed that they finally got to the point when Dasho felt comfortable enough with them to allow himself a practice. So you choose the scariest one of us to test it with, huh? It's not like that. I just... Shh, I'm joking. He got up from the couch, closing most of the remaining distance between them, letting go of his hand for a moment to caress his cheek. I'm happy you trust me with this. Just tell me what you want me to do, I'll do it. Dasho seemed to think for a moment, perhaps subconsciously leaned into Tanaka's hand before he looked up again. I'm not sure how to go about it. Then how about we sit down? That might be a bit more comfortable. Or if you think standing is better for the first try, we can do that as well. It's your call. He furrowed his brow when Dasho flinched, but before he could apologize for messing up, Dasho motioned to the couch. Sitting sounds better. Okay. He settled as far as he could while still keeping his feet on the floor, making a space between his legs for Dasho to sit down comfortably. He wasn't entirely sure if this was going to be easier on Suguru's mind than a standing hug, but he trusted Suguru's decision. They could always stand up again if he started panicking. Although, judging by his initial reaction, something even worse had to happen in the past. Like with everything else. Fucking piece of shit. Are you? It's fine, don't worry. He patted the free space. Come on, let's see how it goes. Dasho hesitated, for a second looking like he wanted to back away, but then took a deep breath, squeezing Tanaka's hand as he carefully settled on the very edge of the couch cushion. Tanaka led him, keeping his hands to himself despite wanting to hug him immediately and more than anything. All good? Yes. I'm sorry, It's okay, take your time. Dasho did just that, letting out a few shaky breaths before he shifted back, and Tanaka's heart skipped a beat when he leaned his back against his chest. He still felt the small shivers running through Dasho's body, his breaths a little too quick for his liking. You're doing great. Can you give me a while? Before touching me? Of course. Tell me when you're ready. Already proud and pretty happy about the contact, he waited patiently while Dasho settled himself down, the little taps he gave his hand making Tanaka smile. Then a little nod signaled him to go ahead. He slowly sneaked his arms around Dasho's waist, taking note of every little flinch, every bated breath and shiver that could mean incoming panic. He would gladly jump for joy if they weren't sitting, or risked spooking Dasho even more. Like this, he left his hands loosely connected over Dasho's stomach, making sure he was far enough from his neck when he laid his chin on his shoulder to not scare him. Still okay like this? Dasho nodded, though more jerkily than Tanaka would like. If it gets too much, tell me, I'll let go. Promise? And just like that, Tanaka's heart broke all over again. I promise. Just say a word. He stayed still, half expecting Dasha to tell him to let go of him. But instead, the light pressure against his chest increased as Dasha relaxed a little. He still gripped Tanaka's wrist, but the previous lingering fright was nowhere to be felt. Pleasant, peaceful silence settled around them, only occasionally interrupted by Dasha's shaky exhale. Do you want to shift? No, It's nice like this. Just... I can't get used to it, but it's nice. It's been so long since I sat with anyone like this. We can try it more often if you want. Seems like you can hold on for quite a while. Because it's you. Tanaka froze, unable to think or speak for a beat. Because it's you. He bit hard on his tongue, trying to suppress the wave of emotions rushing from within, as well as the urge to bury his face into the crook of Dasha's neck. It hadn't been that long since their relationship barely survived his stupidity. It still felt like yesterday when he kept seeing Suguru flinch away from him whenever he came close, wary and scared of his non-existent hate. And now, he apparently managed to become a safe space, something he wouldn't even dare to think about a year ago. He got snapped from daydreaming by a soft whimper, but before he managed to react, pain spread through his side, making him loosen his grip. Dasha jumped away from him, his breathing now ragged and fast, and Tanaka startled. Shit, sorry, what did I do? I didn't mean to, I swear. You moved and... He hugged his middle and curled more into a ball, obviously trying to calm down but without much success, and Tanaka would gladly slap himself. So much so for becoming a safe space. Before he could apologize again, Dasha let out a strangled sound, clenching his hands on his sides. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. I shouldn't be like this, I know, I'm sorry. Shh. It's not your fault. You got scared, no need to apologize. He stopped himself before he went to hold Dasha's hand, opting to leave his palm open for Dasha to decide. You did nothing wrong. I did. I said I trust you, but then it only takes one movement for me to act out. Suguru, that's not acting out. You got scared. I don't know what that fucker said or did to you to cause this, but you don't have to apologize for fear. Not anymore. Unable to wait any longer, he gently pried Dasha's hand from his sweater, relief washing over him when Dasha entwined their fingers. His breathing eventually evened as well, yet the trembles didn't want to go away. You don't get to ask what you did. You did wrong, so you apologized. Reminders are always nicer after apology. That's what he always said. Reminders. Tanaka saw red, but deep down, ice-cold dread bubbled as well with the reminder of the past events. So he conditioned you to apologize, even when it wasn't your fault. I suppose. I don't really think before apologizing anymore. And I hurt you because of it, didn't I? You meant well. That doesn't matter. I should have realized it. I'm sorry, love. He should have known, even back then. Looking back, it was as clear as day that Dasha's constant apologizing was a reflex learned from pain. One would learn quickly when the other options were abuse and assault. And yet, he was stupid enough to run his mouth. If he hadn't felt bad enough after finding his beloved mid-panic attack he caused. A light, almost reassuring squeeze of his hand snapped him back into the present, making him meet the gentlest emerald eyes. You made amends for it already. I do trust you, really. Just as much as Yuji and Chika. Thank you. But you want to sit away, don't you? Dasha paused, but then hung his head and gave a barely visible nod. It's not because of you. I need a moment. Okay. To his surprise, Dasha didn't let go of his hand despite settling by his side now, still keeping their fingers intertwined as if he was scared to let go. Although, thinking about it, Tanaka was perhaps even more scared to let go, too worried that the cold wall he barely managed to scale before could build itself between them again. Thank you for helping me. He looked up, surprised. Of course. But don't push yourself too much. It's not a race. It wouldn't be worth it if it just caused you more stress. I know, I want to be normal again. Felt all this added stuff and you having to walk on eggshells around me. Suguru, you are normal. Everyone would be scared after what you've been through. But it's been so long already. I shouldn't be like this. I should have done more back then. A deep sigh heaved through his chest, his eyes fixing on their connected hands. When you said I wasn't setting boundaries before, I tried. I tried to tell him to back off in things. I tried to get away once too. It never worked. He let out a sour, pained chuckle, tears glistening in his eyes. Yet Tanaka couldn't bring himself to say anything, his heart sinking with Dasha's every word, but also telling him he shouldn't interrupt. Not now. Even when I finally ended it and moved away, he found me. He broke into the house and... His voice hitched, his hands trembling while the first tears rolled down his cheeks. He was one of the prettiest criers Tanaka had ever met in his life. Never twisting his face, only big tears hanging on his lashes until they rolled down his cheeks. Perhaps that was the reason why seeing him cry hurt so much. He moved before he could think about it, pulling Dasha into his arms to hide him away from the memories. He shouldn't have, he knew, not without Dasha's word. But the way he clung to his t-shirt, telling him he did a good thing. Shh. It's okay, breathe. You're safe now. He won't hurt you anymore, I promise. He mentally kicked himself for dragging out old pain just when Suguru started to feel better. Or at the very least better around him. But maybe it was cathartic to let it out. He really hoped that was the case. I should have done something, or leave sooner, but it took me too long to realize. Don't say that. It wasn't your fault, none of it. So sorry I made it sound like I put blame on you for all that. I don't. I could never. You didn't choose to stay with him, he forced you. You did everything you could, I'm sure of it. And it still wasn't enough. Suguru. I remember one time after he locked me in that place, he left so late that it hurt so much I just wished I would die. Tanaka flinched, reminded of the long pale scars on Suguru's forearms. What does it make me? It makes you incredible for making it through and finding enough strength to hold on and escape. I can't even imagine how much pain he caused you. No wonder you wanted to end in any way. He gently patted Dasha's hair, earning a soft sniffle in return. You didn't deserve to suffer so much, and no one had right to hurt you like this. I swear I'll deck anyone who says otherwise or dares to lend a hand on you again. A muffled, choked chuckle reached his ears, You sound like Eugene. Well, he is onto something in that regard, so I'll take that as a compliment. But don't tell him I said that. He would never let me live it down. More hiccupy laugh bubbled in Dasha's throat, putting Tanaka at ease, somewhat. Everything was better when Dasha smiled, even through tears. He let him settle at his own pace, gently rubbing his back to help soothe the sniffles jerking with his body, only letting go when Dasha tapped on his leg. Say, how about we watch some fairy tale before the two come home? To come to different thoughts. Would you try hugging me again? Of course. Anything you want. The gentlest of smiles brightened Dasha's face. Thank you.